Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another Tech Gym video. Hope you're hanging in there. I've been waiting forever to show you what's in this box, and now is finally the time. Well, I wasn't expecting Apple to jump in there and steal my thunder. Anyway, it's the iPad Pro 2020. Let's unbox this thing. So here it is. All the flares on the top showing off the liquid retina display. Other than that, we only have clean Apple and iPad Pro logos adorning the side of the box. This is a 12.9-inch 256GB space gray Wi-Fi only version with an $1,100 price tag. This is my first unboxing, and maybe this got a bit more sensual than I intended. I feel like these tech YouTubers get called out when they don't respect the process. So Apple sets you down the garden path with the plastic removal. Then the fun stops, and Apple makes you get barbaric. I can't watch this part. And am I the only one doing this with the top? Okay, so I guess the most intimate part of the unboxing is the unsheathing of the iDevice. Is that an allowed word? Well anyway, because after the plastic is torn off and the screen is marred by just a single fingerprint, well, it's never the same. So this iPad Pro looks virtually the same as the previous generation, other than the notorious camera bump. Here's a closer look. You can see the addition of the ultra-wide 120-degree field of view camera and a faint opaque circle covering all the LiDAR stuff. So keep the camera bump visible if you want to signal that you have the latest and greatest. There really aren't any other clear outward indicators. Okay, yeah, the accessories. I'm getting to it. I know I'm supposed to do this first. Hope you'll forgive me. In the box, we have our documentation with white Apple stickers, as well as a USB-C to USB-C cord and an 18-watt power adapter for faster charging. All right, all unboxed and ready to go. The rest of the video will be pretty simple. It'll be a comparison between the iPad Pro 2020 and its predecessor, the iPad Pro 2018, which is still really good. So if you're thinking of buying an iPad Pro, or perhaps upgrading your existing iPad Pro, this might be a good video for you. So many of the comparisons I'll be making are aimed at the big question. Is the A12Z Bionic chip noticeably, practically better than the A12X Bionic? We're gonna find out. I think maybe we're all a little suspicious. So we have the bump to 6GB of RAM on all the iPad Pro 2020 models. That's great. We're gonna identify how much that reduces the forced closing of apps, which can be pretty annoying. Apple is claiming that the 2020 iPad Pro now has studio quality microphones. We're definitely gonna put that to the test with a multi-mic comparison. Last but not least, how much does this LiDAR scanner improve AR? Cursor and trackpad support might be the most exciting thing coming to the iPads, but I'm gonna save that for another video. So I'll wrap this whole thing up with a bucket of opinions, including whether I think you should buy this. So please stick around to the end. Let's get warmed up with a boot up test. We'll start the timer. I'll be doing a bit of fast forwarding. The iPad Pro 2020 takes the first round. Face ID unlock. Didn't mean to make this look so spooky. The 2018 iPad Pro is approaching 10% faster on this trial. I doubt this holds up. However, there's certainly not much evidence here that you are getting better performance from the 2020 iPad Pro. Okay, going to compare app launching speed starting with Asphalt 9. Let's speed this up. The 2020 wins, but it's very close. Opening up IKEA, we'll stop the clock when the controls become visible. It seems the 2018 wins this round by like half a second. That shouldn't happen. Okay, Frogger, what do you got? Maybe we'll see a dramatic difference here. Nope, 2020 by 1/10 of a second. Leo's Fortune, make me feel better about my $1,100. 2020 by 1/10 of a second. Hot Lava, I'm losing hope. Well, what do you know? 2020 partially redeeming itself with a 0.6 second win. Okay, tired of games. Disney will definitely make me feel better. 2018 by 1/5 of a second. All right, let's move on to app performance. Got my app open here, going to mix up a virtual cube and get solving instructions. Fairly complex algorithm to play. 2020 with the biggest win yet. Now proof that my app can solve this cube. Okay, a serious task. Exporting a 10-minute 4K movie. This will provide enough space for the 2020 to finally show its worth. After 5 minutes and 40 seconds, we have a 0.5 second difference. Yeesh. Alright, we are through with the speed comparisons. Here is a performance rundown and the Geekbench scores. Pause if you like. Okay, what's the best way to describe what just happened? Well, I did 7 minutes and 12 seconds of stuff on this 2018 iPad, doing the same exact stuff on this $1,100 device. I saved 3.6 seconds, or 1% of my time. The A12Z is simply not telling a compelling story here at all. I don't know about you, but it gets really difficult for me to get excited about my new iDevice when it's not significantly faster, zippier, snappier than the previous generation. Let's move on to the next section. Maybe there's better news. All right, moving away from speed. Let's see how the 6 gigabytes of RAM helps apps stay open. What I did here is start up 30 apps and then messed around on YouTube for 5 minutes. After this, I went back to the multitask view and resumed each app looking for signs of reloading, which is bad and slows down our flow. Of the 30 apps, there were 7 where the 2018 had to reload and the 2020 didn't. So upgrading to the iPad 2020 will reduce app reloads by roughly 25%. This is a perk. You can decide how much that's worth. All right, let's move on to the screen. To start, I set the brightness to 100% and toggle between a white and black picture. Not a clear difference, but it is clear we are not dealing with OLED. Quite a bit of bleeding. At half brightness, both screens look good. Nothing really stands out. The bad part is, it doesn't seem that the 2020 buys you anything here. And the good? The screen seems durable. Note that no screen enhancements were announced, so nothing is too surprising here. Okay, the microphone test. Apple did announce an upgrade to the 5-mic array, calling it Studio Quality. Here I will compare the 2020 iPad Pro to the 2018, the iPhone 11 Pro Max, an iPhone with a plug-in $80 mic, and a $1,000 mic, the same one I've been using for this video. The phrases I use are the Harvard sentences, which were constructed specifically to gauge microphone clarity. Oak is strong and also gives shade. Oak is strong and also gives shade. Cats and dogs each hate the other. Cats and dogs each hate the other. The pipe began to rust while new. The pipe began to rust while new. Open the crate but don't break the glass. Open the crate but don't break the glass. Add the sum of the product of these three. Add the sum of the product of these three. Thieves who rob friends deserve jail. Thieves who rob friends deserve jail. Act on these orders with great speed. Act on these orders with great speed. The hog crawled under the high fence. The hog crawled under the high fence. So what's the conclusion? I heard 4 clear tiers of quality. On top, the Sennheiser, the most expensive. Next is this Rode video mic plugged into the iPhone. You can take this little furry guy on or off. I suggest keeping it on. The third tier, the iPad Pro 2020 and the iPad Pro 2018. Even with headphones, I couldn't catch a real difference. The final tier, and this made me a little bit sad, was the iPhone. It sounded terrible. I guess it's not studio quality. Compared to the Sennheiser, the iPad Pro sounded like they were being recorded in a barrel underwater. Okay, it's not surprising that this sounds better than the iPad Pros. What made me a little sad was that the iPad Pro 2020 sounded no better than the iPad Pro 2018. Remember, the studio quality mics are one of the few things that Apple decided to call out as an enhancement on the iPad Pro 2020. New iPad I'm trying, you have to throw me something. Alright, now onto the bump and the new wide-angle camera. You can see that the iPad Pro 2020 takes a much better wide-angle shot than the 2018. This can mostly to completely be explained by the fact that the 2020 has a wide-angle camera. So pretty big boost in the wide-angle shots for the 2020. You might be thinking that the iPad Pro 2020 has the same wide-angle camera as the iPhone 11 Pro. Not really. It's 2 megapixels shy and has about a 25% longer focal length. As you can see, maybe if you squint a little, the iPhone 11 Pro takes sharper pictures. I think it's clear from this shot with no digital zoom, and also zooming in 2000% on a single face where you can clearly see greater detail. So your new wide-angle camera may be Apple's latest, but not the greatest. And now we will see how the LiDAR sensor makes AR better. Everyone loves AR on iPads, as the real goal is to get those deltoids burning. Where are these AR glasses already, Apple? We are in lockdown. You have something better to do? To start off the comparison, we are in the famous IKEA app. The test here will be how well does an AR item stay put when I start moving the camera around. I'll be using the Apple remote as a reference point, and the speaker, lamp, adult toy, whatever it is, as the AR item. Okay, let's begin with the 2018. All right, turning around, shake, 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 and back to the lamp. Whoa, look out there, buddy. Kinda creeped up. Now let's try this on the 2020. Okay, we turned around, shake, 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 and it stayed put. Much better. Let's head on over to the Measure app. For this demo, I will be measuring the length of my desk. Let's start with the 2018. So seems a little shaky right off the bat. We get 3 feet, 11 inches. Should note I measured this 2 other times and got 3 feet, 9 inches. Okay, now with the 2020. Immediately, it's a completely different experience. We kind of have the snap feature and also other lines for visual guidance. Here we get 5 feet, 1 inch. Measured this 2 other times and got 5 feet, 1 inch. Let's check with the tape measure. What do you know? 5 feet, 1 inch. The LiDAR scanner really shines here. All right, so what's the conclusion? The iPad Pro 2020 is a great device. So many ways you can use it to meet your productivity and entertainment needs. Use it as an extra portable monitor. Plug it into an external monitor and use a mouse and keyboard for the desktop experience. Get casual on the couch. For so many, this would be a great all-purpose computer. Better battery life than a laptop, more portable than a desktop, no spinning beach balls, no loud fans while you're trying to record, largely avoids some of the more confusing aspects of computers like file systems, it's less virus prone, you can take it into a corporate environment, just terrific for photo editing and drawing, no shortage of productivity and entertainment apps. On top of this, you can expect, I think, at least 6 or 7 years of software support. So you have several years of great new features still to come. There is still a case for laptops, but it's weakening. The amount of stuff only a laptop can do is shrinking, while the amount of stuff only an iPad can do is expanding and rapidly. This iPad Pro 2020 is a modern marvel. However, and here's the kicker, the 2018 iPad Pro is just about as marvelous as this one. Okay, the final verdict. Should you buy the iPad Pro 2020? No. Let me be a little more subtle. Absolutely not. It pains me to say it. Just hold on to your money. Some of you are probably saying, you know what, I could actually use that extra RAM, and I really like that LiDAR sensor. I could really use it, and I don't want to wait another 18 months. Okay, so maybe you have a case. Up until this report came out. Well, this is really the death knell for this particular iPad in terms of whether it's worth buying. There seems to be a reasonable chance that we will be getting a legitimate iPad Pro upgrade sometime in Q4 2020. Ming-Chi Kuo of KGI Securities, also known as the most accurate Apple analyst in the world, John Prosser of Front Page Tech, and Digitimes are all predicting a refreshed iPad Pro in Q4 of 2020. Some of the new goodies being discussed include a new A14X Bionic chip skipping A13, a mini LED display which would enable much more precise contrast, and 5G connectivity. While there's not total agreement on whether the new iPad Pro will get all these features, there is agreement that a new one is coming this year or perhaps early next year. Given the rather incremental nature of this 4th gen iPad Pro, you might expect this 5th gen iPad Pro to be the real upgrade. If you buy this iPad Pro now, you will mostly have a 2018 gen iPad until probably around 2022. And that should make you really sad. Probabilistically, you have left already, but if you're still there, please help me get into the double-digit subscriber count by pressing subscribe. I can't ask my mom to subscribe without a double-digit count, right? Anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.